the twist that England needed? Is this the moment the game turned? Well, in the wrong home. Run out first ball, being a bit dopey, and now a no ball. As you see in the replay.
How far is he over? Let's have a look.
Oh, he's over.
Yeah, there's no doubt about the no ball. Yeah, it's a clear enough no ball. Not a difficult one for the TV umpire.
I think it's the contact with the listeners, sort of communication, if you like, company, probably. It doesn't matter where you're listening, you might be in the car, in the garden, or at home pottering about, or indeed at work, of course. It's just that string of voices that are familiar, and trying to bring good news, which isn't always the case, of course. But yeah, chatting and stories, and you try and make it a fairly sort of gentle place to be. Not too stressful, because we're on for a long time, 6.5, 7 hours. So that's a long time if you're going to be too serious and too stiff about things. So we try and make it an easy listen. Entertainment, but with cricket, of course, running centrally through it. Well, there's obviously the window, which this is the only opening window in the building, of course. And I think Peter Baxter, who is the former producer, had quite a battle with the architect to get that, because they like nice straight lines and clean things, but thank goodness he did, because to be able to open that up, it's not a question of fresh air, it's the sound. I mean, Lord's has got a really unique noise. It's that gentle, constant hum that we used actually during COVID when we couldn't have crowds. To try and make it sound as if something was going on, we actually used a recording of the Lord's sound. And so you get that through that window, and then of course when there is something really exciting happening, you get the roar as well, you can really sort of feel it go through you. So we try and keep it open at least to some extent, as much as we can. But it's a great view, it's straight down the line, you can see what's going on. The only thing is sometimes, it is quite high. So actually judging the height of a catch, for instance, if it's going to carry, can be a bit awkward, but hey, it's not a bad view, is it? You don't live in each other's pockets. So you've got mates and you've got people who go off and do their own things. It's like any working environment, really. The important thing about the number of people and the voices is that it does change. So as a listener, you do get that contrast of voices and accents and so on, male and female, of course. So that's important to keep that rotation going. So we do 20 minutes. The summariser, someone like Tuffers or Michael Vaughan will do half an hour. So again, you get that sort of interweaves, if you like, between itself. But otherwise, you just sit down, you do it, and have a bit of fun. Well, every time I come here and you walk in either the North Gate or the East Gate, you can't help but feel a tingle. This is where I first watched a proper game of cricket when I was 11 in 1971, a long time ago now. And I never really lost that. It was here I sat and watched in the grandstand. I watched Peter Lever bowling for Lancashire in a Gillette Cup final against Kent, and I said to my dad, that's who I want to be. I want to be Peter Lever, who's subsequently become a very good friend, actually. He's a lovely fella. And I think of the number of people who would come and maybe see their first game of cricket just like I did that day, because it's such an inspirational place, and there are special places like Lord's. I mean, Wimbledon is another one that, again, you just feel when you walk in, wow, you feel the history and the heritage of the place. And so that's what's special about this. You walk in, doesn't matter how many hundreds of times you have walked in through those gates, when you first get downstairs here and you see the pavilion and the sun's shining, hopefully, you're at the home of cricket.